When is the altcoin season going to arrive? When does that time come where altcoins get sent to the moon in a way that changes people's financial lives for forever? Well, first of all, let me state, I don't have the exact answer. No guru out there has the exact answer. No one does, right? No one knows. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk us through some historical charts to get some data points to at least help us create an educated guess and a better understanding of when this could possibly happen this time around. Now, this chart that we're going to use is called the Bitcoin Dominance Chart. If you go on something like TradingView, type in BTC.D and you'll pull it up. What this shows is the percentage of the total market cap of all of cryptocurrency that is dominated by Bitcoin. And when we have an alt season is when Bitcoin is in a bull market where its dollar valuation is going up, but its dominance of the crypto market is going down. This means that money is leaving Bitcoin and flooding into the altcoins. Now, this right here is the bull cycle from the halving that happened in 2016, right? Altcoins weren't really a thing until I think 2013, 2014 or so. So we can't take a look at the very first halving, but this is the second halving. As you can see, Bitcoin was at basically 100% dominance until altcoins started to come into the picture. That's why it started to dip a little bit. Now, it took 34 weeks for Bitcoin to enter a period where it was ready to share some of the market cap space with altcoins. So it took 34 weeks after the first halving for us to start a total ridiculous gangbusters altcoin season. And this line right here, I think I mentioned before, is the end of the bull run. So this altcoin season lasted for roughly 3/4 of a year. So let's move forward to the bull run of 2020. Here's the halving of 2020. This line once again marks the end where Bitcoin and altcoins then hit their tops and we entered into the bear market afterwards, right? Now, it behaved a little bit differently this time being Bitcoin's dominance. Initially out the gate, Bitcoin's dominance actually went down. Money started flowing immediately into altcoins, but that reversed very, very quickly, right? Just a few months afterwards, then money started bleeding out of the altcoins back into Bitcoin, and we didn't get the full major altcoin season. Once again, coincidentally enough, it's interesting that they're all the same. I say all, there too. 34 weeks. It took 34 weeks again for us to get into the major altcoin season, and this altcoin season lasted for basically a year. So if Bitcoin behaves similarly from a dominance standpoint this cycle as it did in the past two cycles, it'll take 34 weeks or a little bit over 8 months after the halving for us to experience a full-blown altcoin season. Now, before we close this out and tie a little bow on this video, I do want to mention that I think the spot Bitcoin ETFs will cause the dominance flow to be different this time, because when people buy from a spot Bitcoin ETF, it is much harder to then take that money and put it into altcoins. If you're on Coinbase, you just sell your Bitcoin and you buy into altcoin around the same platform. With spot Bitcoin ETF, you have to sell the spot shares that you have. You have to wait time for it to clear, take that money off of BlackRock, take it to a Coinbase, and now you can buy your altcoins. It's definitely something that will happen, definitely something a lot of highly motivated people will do, but definitely a few too many steps for some people, right? So I believe that how this is going to affect, and this is just my personal theory, I think it will take about 34 weeks, again, for us to see a major fall in Bitcoin's dominance and for us to experience a super euphoric altcoin cycle. But what I think is going to be different is I don't think that Bitcoin's dominance will fall as sharply as it did in the past. In the second halving, it fell by roughly 50%. In the third halving, the second one I showed in the video, the 2021, the dominance fell by 30%. I think the dominance will only fall by somewhere between 15 to 25% this time around. But that's just my personal theory. I hope you're all having a great day and that you make a bunch of money.